In a previous highlight episode, Stu McLaren and I shared with you why it's so important to have a success path in your membership. In this episode, he's going to talk to you about how to go about actually creating a success path. And like I shared before, if you're brand new to memberships or if you have a baby membership, this is going to be a really important episode for you to tune into because this is a foundational strategy, not just for your membership, but also for the community within your membership. I talk in my first community cultivated pillar, cause, all about the importance of having a clear path to help your members make progress. And for many people, the success path that Sue's talking about here is the best way to make that happen. So, breakdown for me, I know there's a uniqueness to the success path. Now, you go super deep into this inside of the membership experience program, but give us a little insight into how this breaks down and how somebody can start crafting like a high level version of a success path for themselves.
Yeah, the high level overview is that it contains four different elements. The first element are stages. And what I want you to think about here is that, like karate, for example, you don't go from the white belt to the black belt like that. There are different stages that you're going to go through. Similarly, like if you were learning how to paint, you're not going to go from not knowing how to paint to becoming the next Picasso like that. There's going to be a progression to that journey. The key thing for you and I as business owners is to think through, okay, if I were sitting down across from somebody and I were chatting with them and I'm trying to evaluate where are they in their journey? What key things am I looking for? And we'll get into this in a minute, but what we're trying to do is break it down into different stages. Are they a white belt? Are they a yellow belt? Are they a blue belt? Are they a purple belt, black belt? Like if we're thinking similar to a karate, if we think of swimming, if anybody's ever done swimming, you have a similar progression. My kids just started brand new swimming lessons with a new instructor. And the very first thing that he did was he was looking to evaluate, how strong a swimmer they are in certain areas. He asked them to do each a freestyle stroke, breaststroke, backstroke, and butterfly. And he was just looking to see where are they at? And he's looking for different elements to gauge what stage they are at in terms of the strength of them being a swimmer. The same is true for us. So we want to break down what we are helping people do in terms of if somebody were starting brand spanking new, all the way to mastering what it is that you are teaching or accomplishing or achieving that result. What are the different stages that somebody may go through in order to get there? Now, I never recommend more than 7 stages and never fewer than 3. The sweet spot is 5. This is typically what I work with clients to do, is to identify 5 different stages. And the reason being is in the beginning, we actually want stages that are a little bit easier to progress through because it creates momentum for people. That's really important. They want to be able to see progress as they're moving through the stages. But then similarly, in order to truly master a skill set or to truly get a result, it may take time. And so this is why you want to have a good range in terms of the levels at each stage. So first element are stages. The second element are descriptions of each stage. And I first kind of discovered this when I was business partners with Michael Hyatt. And one year we were looking to sell his goal setting course, which is 5 days to your best year ever. And Michael came up with an assessment. And in the assessment, it assessed various areas of your life. And he wrote a description for each of the different areas and for the different stages of each area. Now, I'm a fit guy. I played sports my entire life. I still run, I still bike, I still play soccer. I'm a fit guy. And so if you were to ask me on a scale of 1 to 12, which was the range that Michael was giving, how fit I was, I would have said, I'm easily like 10, 11, or 12, like for sure, like I'm fit. But then when I read Michael's descriptions, I was like, oh, I'm probably more like a 6 or a 7, according to this scale. And this is what's important about the descriptions. It speaks to people so that they can quickly and easily identify, that's where I'm at. And so how do we create a description that people connect to and quickly identify to be? Well, we want to talk about what are people thinking at that stage? What are people feeling at that stage? And what are people doing at that stage? So these descriptions paint a picture where people see themselves in that description and can quickly identify, okay, I'm at stage 3. Oh, okay, I'm at stage 2. Actually, I'm at stage 1. So when they read the description, they immediately identify with being at one of those stages. Now, what's also beautiful about this is the moment that they identify as being at a stage, they also see what is possible in the other stages ahead of them. So it foreshadows the progress that they can experience and how that will help benefit their life. Is this making sense so far, Shanna?
Yeah, definitely. I love it because you're talking about how they can quickly and easily identify it, how it's not in their head where they think they are. It's pretty black and white. Like if you're in these stage, you have done these things and you're probably experiencing these things. I think at one point you told me to think about a Hallmark movie for that person in a day. Like, what does that look like? Paint that script for a day. That was super helpful. And then even casting the vision of where they're going to go next. And you'll probably talk about this, but those milestones that they really need to achieve to get to that next stage.
Yeah, that's exactly it. So the first thing that we've got to do for a success path is identify the stages. Second thing is write a description for each of the stages. The third thing, as you hinted toward, are the milestones. So again, imagine you're sitting down having coffee with the person and you're trying to identify like where are they in this journey? You're probably going to be asking questions that indicate to you their level of expertise or what they can and can't do. So, for example, like let's go back to my kids. So it's recent. So it's fresh in my memory. They're in the pool with their new instructor, McKenna, and he was asking them to do the different strokes. And he was noticing that in my daughter's case, Marla, she was very, very good at breaststroke. But even within that, there were little technical things that she could do far better that she hadn't mastered yet. So, as an example, mastery of those elements would be a milestone. Same with my son, Sam. He was really good at the freestyle stroke, but there were still things within that stroke that he hadn't mastered or milestones that he hadn't checked off yet that would indicate that he is better or, worse in some cases. So a milestone is really a moment in that journey or in that stage that indicate somebody has accomplished something or has mastered something and therefore can move forward with their milestones or with their stages. So again, think about karate, another great example. Just because somebody can punch and kick doesn't mean that they are instantly a black belt. Along that journey, they are mastering different skills. And in order to move from one belt to another, they have to demonstrate a level of mastery, so to speak, or have accomplished certain things in order to move to the next belt. The same is true for anybody that we are teaching. We want to know that they have mastered or have accomplished or have completed certain items before they move on to the next stage. That's what a milestone is. It's an indicator of a certain level of mastery or a certain level of progress, therefore enabling people to move to the next stage. So that's the third element. And then the fourth element is really easy. It's an action item. So if somebody hasn't mastered those milestones, what should they do? What should they focus on? And these are very black and white. It's not left up for interpretation. Oftentimes we'll see like somebody will have a milestone that says, you thought about XYZ. Well, what's the level of thought that needs to go into? Is that like a 2-second thought? Like, oh, thinking about it. Okay, done. Therefore, I can move on. No, it might be something else. So that's why you don't want gray areas. And this is one of the big lessons that I learned from Michael when I was taking his assessment. The reason I was a 6 or 7 and not a 10, 11, or 12 like I thought I was, because he had very specific things that I have either done or haven't done that would indicate the progress. And the same is true here. We want to make it very clear, very black or white, whether somebody has done it or has not. Because if they haven't, then the next thing that we're going to focus them on are the action items. What do they then need to do in order to demonstrate that level of mastery or in order to begin to experience progress to the next stage? So stages, number one, descriptions, number two, milestones, number three, and action items are number four. This is what makes the basis of a success path.